Entry number 8 in the beginner division. Aquamarine is an idol group located here in the DMV area. While chasing their dreams and with their ticket to the future in hand, here is our future selves now.
Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you are watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks and another spooky episode of Who's That Cosplayer. And joining me today is Endless Dream Cosplay. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you so very much for having me. I really appreciate your time.
Hey, it's awesome that you're here because, again, like I said, this is a spooky episode of Who's That Cosplayer since we are in the month of October. And, you know, I got my candy corn lights on right now. So thank you so much for joining me. And before we get into today's interview, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. As D always says, podcast link down in the description. Like, follow, subscribe. So let's go ahead and get into this episode. So I'm going to call you Dream because it's like when I have cosplayers up here, it's just like you guys, y'all have such unique and amazing names. And I'm going to say Dream because I love the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. There's your cat, like you told me.
Said it was a spooky episode. She's a black cat. So
hey, this is what I like. Hey, you look,
girl.
Look, what is her name?
Baby.
Give her a shout out.
Neela. This is my girl Neela. She is a rescue cat.
Nice.
And I've had her for several months now. She's my baby girl and I love her very much. Come on, honey.
I love her eyes.
Yeah, she's beautiful. I love her. She's my little girl.
I love it, man. And what better way to have a black cat during the spooky season? You know what I'm saying? Like, I love this. Neela, it was good seeing you. I see that you're leaving our present. Okay.
I think she wants to find a way to get down. There you go, honey.
But like I was saying, you know, you guys, y'all have such unique and amazing names. and I just love Endless Dream. So one of the questions I always start with is every hero or villain, they have an origin story. So tell everybody, who is Endless Dream Cosplay?
Well, I got into anime when I was probably in I got really into I started getting into anime probably in the 5th grade, but as most children who grow up in the late 90s and early 2000s, they get into Pokemon pretty early on. So I was really into that for a long time. And then 5th grade rolled along, and then a classmate happened to be really into manga, and I borrowed some manga from her, and it was just a very steep downhill slope. And then once I got to middle school, I met some like-minded people, and I discovered cosplay, and I went to my first con when I was 12 in 2009. I was born in 97. I'm 24 now, but and I remember just being amazed and overwhelmed by it. Wow, even though it was a dreary Sunday of a con and it was late in the day, it was my first con, it was still very special. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. And then I've been doing cons ever since. And I guess the name Endless Dream Cosplay came when I was, it was back in the time when a lot of cosplayers had adjective subject cosplay as their alias. And I was I kind of like that. I don't remember exactly what. I think maybe it has to do with cosplay being a dream that never ends, because you always get to dress up as whoever you want and be whoever you want and just have fun with it and meet new friends. And I guess that's where it came from. And I actually haven't been using that alias as much anymore, but I just feel it's too much of a hassle to go and change everything. But my name is Mallory, so that's usually what I go by generally, but you can call me whatever you want.
Okay, all right. I mean, well, I'm just gonna say, because how you said, Endless Dream and cosplay, because you can be whoever you want to be. When I hear the name Endless Dream, it automatically makes me think of a role-playing game. Something similar to Final Fantasy, and that's the term with Final Fantasy, because the first one was supposed to be the last one, but then they kept on making Final Fantasy games because it's there's so many stories and possibilities that you can go with when it comes to these games. So I think that your cosplay name is awesome. Do you play role-playing games?
I really am the only role-playing game I've really played lately has been Genshin Impact, which I've thoroughly enjoyed. Most of my game repertoire for most of my life has been Pokemon and Animal Crossing, but I am definitely open to getting into more. I just but I found Genshin Impact soon after it released and massive here, so I've thoroughly been enjoying it. A lot of my friends are surprised that I like it so much, when most of my repertoire has been for cosplay has been idols, slice of life, cute stuff, and then and they throw in a random My Hero cosplay here and there, and then all of a sudden, why does she like Genshin so much? I'm it's fun. Okay. It's great.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing from everyone. And I have it downloaded on my PS4, but I still haven't played it yet. And the reason why is because I don't have time, which I do make some time to play it.
It's a bit of a time sink, but it's good fun.
Yeah, and see, and that's the thing, with role-playing games, because the one that I'm currently playing when I do have time is Persona 3. And RPGs, they take a lot of time because of the dialogue, the battles, the dungeon crawling, so it can be very time consuming. And if you're always busy like me, you really don't have time. But if you do make some time, you can get into it. So I wanted to kind of go back to the cosplay stuff. So when you went to your first con, were you in costume, or did you just go in a normal outfit?
I was in cosplay. Earlier on, because I couldn't at this point, cosplay wasn't as accessible because it was 2009, so a lot of people just were set to their own devices for how to procure things. And my grandmother is a really good seamstress, and she made my cosplay for me. Nice. And she's awesome. She just turned 90. Shout out to her. But
happy birthday, Grandma.
But she made a lot of my cosplays early on, so that's what I wore. And I got some Halloween wig that was as close to the character as I could get, because back then we weren't nearly as resourceful. And I remember just, looking back, I looked a little funny, but like, you know, I didn't even care at that point because I was just surrounded by people who were in the same space as me, and we all could just geek out and have a good time together. And I went with one of my close friends who I'm still friends with, one of my close friends from middle school, who was dressed like Hatsune Miku. And we just had such a good time. I remember my mom like took us around the convention because we were 12 and didn't want us to run around the convention center alone. And so I was cosplaying from that point. And then from then on, I just kept wanting to do more and more and more.
Yeah, and like that's one of the things that I love about cosplay, because it's one of the things when you first get into it, it's like you can't stop, especially with you know, there's so many costumes that you can do. Like you can do retro stuff, you can do new stuff, you can do video game stuff, you can do anime, cartoon, comics. And I've seen like the cosplays that you've done before. So what are well, before I ask this question, like who are you cosplaying as right now for our viewers who don't know the character that you are?
Well, I'm dressed up as Mario Hara from Love Live Sunshine. It's the
Nice.
second iteration of the Love Live franchise. And I adore this character. She means a whole lot to me. And I actually collect her merchandise. I have her all over my dresser here. And
Nice.
I've got, you might have seen this in a picture, the giant one.
I have.
But she means a lot to me, and I've kind of just she's kind of become part of my brand at this point. But yeah, I'm dressed like her. And this particular outfit was it is associated with the second opening to the anime Mirai no Bokura wa Shitteru yo, and my dance group Aquamarine, we performed that in this costume for the
Nice.
Katsuki Masquerade in 2019, and we won that masquerade as best
Nice,
novice.
congrats.
And so this costume means a lot to me because I just remember being on that stage with my friends, and I thought like, wow, we did this. We really
You
did
had the
this. And
power.
when they called us up on stage, I remember just like we didn't think that we were going to win because you know, there were 1,000 other incredible acts up there, and we were like, no, like, you know, this is our first go at it. They're not gonna get us. And then all of a sudden, best novice performance Aquamarine, and we jump up and we're like, ah! We just run up the stage, and like there's a really great picture of me just like that exists of me just like holding my arm out trying to get one of my friends and just like just like it's just sobbing face. And you know, so yeah, this costume and this character both mean a lot to me, so that's where that comes from.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I definitely know that feeling of, you know, entering a contest and winning and just being excited because you won. Because it's like whenever I think about stuff like that, I always think about movies that I watched growing up where it's like the characters, they enter like a dance contest or a singing competition, and they didn't think that they were going to win. And then when they get called out on stage, it's just like, oh, it's not like, what's that movie? Like Pitch Perfect, for example. It's just like, yo, like we won. And then you get excited and everything. So that's awesome. And congrats. And you said this was back in 2019.
2019, yeah.
That's not that long ago. So like, that's awesome. And, you know, the question I was going to ask you, like, or what are some of your favorite cosplays that you've done? And you just told me one of them. Like, so what are some of the other favorite ones that you've done?
I've done a lot of Mari, but I really want to do more. There are a lot of characters that I really want to do, but I just haven't done yet. The one that's just on the screen now, Mia Meow from Idol Master Million Live. A lot of people aren't really familiar with that franchise, not nearly as much as Love Live, which I feel like it has to do with accessibility because it's not as easily accessible here in the West. But I really enjoy cosplaying her. I have a little Ita bag of her, and I really enjoy that. I just think that costume is so sparkly and pretty. But anyway, I really want to do more Genshin Impact, and I really want to do Revue Starlight. I just really love that series, and I think that would be a really nice moment of just getting together with my friends and having an emotional moment together. But I've done so much Love Live, especially over the years. That's been like probably my biggest thing that I've done, because I really fell in love with the series and what it stands for and what it preaches. And I've done so many characters from that show, but I really thoroughly enjoy it. Shizuku from Nijigasaki, School Idol Club, which is the third iteration of the Love Live franchise. I really, really enjoy cosplaying her. I did her more recently at Otakon, and I really, really had a good time. I just felt so like soft and fluffy as her, like, oh. And yeah, there's a lot that I really want to do, that I dream of doing, that I haven't done yet. But that I have not done yet. But there's a lot of Love Live has been what's been happening lately, and there's a few that I have planned that I haven't posted yet, so that's gonna be fun. I have one in full body paint coming, but it's taking a hard time. It's like I'm trying to figure out some sort of mechanism for the horns. It's not Homestuck, but it's like that's awesome. I'm trying to figure that out. But I'm trying to figure out the mechanism for that and how to keep that from falling off my head. But once that comes up, it'll be up at some point in the next few months.
Yeah, and I'll definitely be looking forward to seeing that. One of my friends, somebody who I had interviewed for the Girl Scouts virtual con, Dami Dahmer, like she does an awesome Mystique cosplay where it's like, her whole body is blue. Now, when I did the interview with her, like I thought that like she actually painted like her whole body, but she only painted her face, and she actually had like a blue, like it was like a blue
morph suit.
Yes, yes, thank you. Because I actually met her in person at Greenville Comic Con, and I was just like, I told her, I was like, man, I thought you really painted your whole body blue. But I mean, it's awesome that that cosplay, like you can do that stuff, man.
Oh yeah.
And, and I love Live. A lot of the interviews that I've had, it has been with a lot of cosplayers who have cosplay characters from Love Live. And, I just want to say that I appreciate talking to all of you guys, because I didn't know what Love Live was until I started doing Who's That Cosplayer. And, to see like all of these dance numbers and to see like all of these different series within the Love Live community and, the idol community in general, like it's amazing. And the performances that all of you guys do, like they're always on point. The Honey Pop Dreamers, like those are a couple of interviews that I've done.
I'm involved with them as well. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And like, like all of those girls, like they're awesome. And then now I wanted to touch on, because, you had mentioned the Aquamarine Idols, and, one of the members that's in the group is somebody who I interviewed, and that is Miss Nikki Mouse.
I love Nikki very much.
Yes, she is awesome. And, when I had told her that I was interviewing you, like she was ecstatic.
Oh,
yes.
Love her.
Yeah, Nikki, she's awesome. So like, that's the question that I want to ask you next is, you founded the Aquamarine. So tell me, like, what was the, process into creating your own idol group?
Oh boy. Well, I remember actually, I think it was Katsucon 2017 maybe. Mm-hmm. And I was just walking around. It was a lazy Sunday, and just taking in the last bit of the con. And I passed by like some idol group doing something on the stage, and I was like, that looks fun. And like I was always familiar with other people doing that. I just hadn't done it myself. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, you know what? Why not try it? Because at this point, there were not like a lot of established groups, mm-hmm. Let alone ones that were doing what was at this point new, the second iteration to the series, Sunshine. A lot of people were not doing that. And which now like it's majority Sunshine, I would say. But I remember like just thinking about it, and then I was in college. I've since graduated, but I was just sitting in the dining hall thinking like, maybe I'll give it a shot. And then I post on my Facebook, and I'm like, hey guys, hey friends, I have this idea. And I like pitched the idea, and a few friends of mine came forward and were like, yeah, that sounds fun. Let's do it. And a few months go by, we have everybody, and we debut at NecoCon, NecoCon 2017 we debut, and to I guess some success, and it was a whole lot of fun. I remember we did not know what we were doing at first, but we've since polished ourselves quite a bit better. But it was really just we Absolutely. It was really just like-minded people and people that I know, and then friends of friends who got together, and we thought, let's try it. And now now like I've run into people, like one of the weirdest things was I was like eating dinner at a mall with a friend, and then one of the waiters comes up to me and he goes, aren't you in that Aquamarine group? And I looked at him and I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, what? I was in civilian clothing. I just like, yeah, I sure am. He's like, yeah, I saw you at Katsucon. And we're like, thanks so much. it just took me so like,
that's awesome.
It just took me so aback. And I was like, thank you. I appreciate it.
Now, did he ask to take a picture? Did he ask for your autograph?
He did not ask for my autograph, but he just wanted to know if I was in the group because and also a friend of mine who graduated, quote unquote, from the group. One of my closest friends who was one of our original members. She worked at a bakery for a time, and somebody asked her, hey, were you in this group? And she told me about it, and I was like, I'm sorry, it's following you.
That's how it is.
And it was so funny. But yeah, so we've just had a whole lot of fun with it. There was one point where we held a boot camp at the Greek embassy due to some like connection that we had with one of our members, and we made a joke how we were like a bunch of American kids practicing for a Japanese convention in the Greek embassy in DC. So funny. Like we've had a lot of adventures over the years and a lot of just good times with the boot camps, because we like to hold boot camps.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, like weekend boot camps, so to prepare, so we can get everybody together, and like we're planning our next one, assuming things don't go south again with
the pandemic and whatnot,
the COVID. But yeah, we're currently planning our big comeback, if you will. But it's still a matter of are things going to be okay in the long run? So we're watching things carefully. We're going about this as well as we can, and we're just going to see what happens.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that, man. It's like, you told me about the Aquamarines, and it's just awesome, especially earlier when you said that y'all entered the contest back in 2019 and y'all won. You know what I'm saying? So it's just it's just amazing.
That was a really happy moment.
Yeah, it's like you guys have had an amazing adventure, and that's the stuff that I love to hear when because I'm sure you never would have thought back in 2009 that it's just like, you would be at this level with right now when it comes to cosplay, and like you've extremely leveled up. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, like, what have been some more of your favorite con moments, or do you have any that are just very special to you?
Oh my gosh. Well, like I mentioned, like getting to perform with Aquamarine has been like very special to me, but getting to meet people and just form these bonds that never like seem to that never seem to fade away. Like I remember I met Nikki like at Katsucon like a couple years before Aquamarine was a thing. And like we met because a friend of mine was in like a cosplay group for Love Live, and I happened to meet Nikki, and she was just so sweet, and we didn't get like close again until Aquamarine happened, but I always look back on that fondly because wow, I had no idea that something would blossom even later on. And I love working with like photographers who I'm very close with, and we can really make wonderful art together. I love being able to do that. I love being able to walk into the convention, like even when I went to Otakon this past year, because it was my first con in like probably a year and a half, and getting to just see everybody again and like see all of my like just wonderful friends all over again after so long, because we all live in different parts of the country, different parts of the East Coast, and we don't really get to see each other if we're not dressed up in a convention center. So that has just been wonderful. And there is this one kid who I absolutely adore with my whole heart. This kid who I refer to as my little sister in the cosplay world, who is quite a bit younger than me, but we formed like a bit of a bond. And actually, they started as a fan of Aquamarine, and then it kind of spiraled. And now awesome. I got to see her again at Otakon, and like it was just really nice having like just being reunited with someone who you almost feel like is like family to you. And it's fantastic. It is
it's like having a family reunion.
Yeah, like that reunion with people who you have all these shared experiences with, even if some of those experiences are intoxicated in a water park, because Colossal Con East, and I've
heard about Colossal Con.
Oh boy,
I heard it can get crazy there.
it does get crazy, yeah. But it's just you get to share all these experiences with people, and there's this general like feeling of acceptance, and I just really, really enjoy that. I remember like even my mom, like when I was young and she would take me to conventions when I was younger, she would always like just be so happy that it was like a positive place that you could spend your time. She's like, I've never seen a fight break out at a con ever. These kids are just having fun. They're just having fun all dressed up. And I'm like, thank you, Mom, because I've always been really, really, really thankful for her support, because I know a lot of people aren't that fortunate to have that support. And so, like it's just, to me, it's just such a positive environment. And of course, there's going to be times where you run into like some drama or somebody like doesn't want to be nice. But like at the end of the day, there's going to be bad apples in any community you go to. It doesn't matter what it is. And I think that the good overrides any of the nonsense that might happen at conventions.
Who's that cosplayer?
WMainCall.com.
I agree, and piggyback off of that. So, like, when you say that you have people there that aren't so nice, like, have you ever been in a situation where it's just like you had somebody that was being a scumbag, and like you were able to handle that situation professionally and a way where it's just like, hey, I'm the bigger person, and it's like, if you're going to be a scumbag, then you're just going to be a scumbag.
Yeah. Well, my group has like had some like issues with people in the past, but that's usually just been one-sided from there and not Aquamarine's side. Like it's been, But I don't want to like go ahead and go and like blast any names out or anything.
Oh no, you don't have to.
But we have had to deal with stuff like that, but we have found that like, well, actually, even Aquamarine has been posted on like drama boards before. Like
wow.
Yeah, like we made our, I think it was LolCow. I don't even know, one of those drama boards.
Yeah.
We made our debut there a little bit ago, and well, actually, I think 4chan also had something to say about us. But what we do though, we don't really acknowledge it. We kind of just, this is the most I've acknowledged it ever, but we don't really acknowledge it because we understand that a lot of those people just want to look for attention. They want to look for like they want that attention and that validation, and we just don't really want to give it to them.
Exactly.
So
you don't want to feed the troll.
Yeah, you don't want to feed them because they're just gonna try to come back for more, and it's just not worth it, Because I mean, I've been mentioned like specifically, oh, they're Mari before, and like it was just like a jab at my physical appearance, and I'm just like, okay, I didn't even acknowledge it really. I was just like, all right, that exists, that's fine. They just want my attention. I'm not going to give it to them.
Exactly. It's like they want to.
It's not even worth your worth your attention. It's not worth your energy, like it's just not worth it. And I just kind of let them be, and I figure like they'll stop eventually. They're gonna stop chasing someone who isn't chasing them back.
Exactly.
We're gonna get bored. So
Yeah, because like somebody had commented on something I posted on Facebook the other day, and it's like it wasn't a jab or anything, but it was their opinion on something, and I had said, okay, well, this is my opinion on it, and like then they tried to get into an argument, and all I just said was okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, because at the end of the day, it's just like it's your time and it's your energy, and sometimes people, it's like they want to argue or they want to try and bring you down, but like you said, if you don't give them your energy, then all they're gonna do is just sit there and that's it. They're just gonna sit there. I mean, like they may have people who may try to come and, you know, side with them, but like those people are idiots too, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's like cosplay is all about having fun, and like how you said earlier, you know, you've gone to these conventions and it's just like, you know, you have these bonds with people. It's like your mom, she took you to the convention, she's seen like how positive and how much fun everybody has had, and I'll say, man, one of the greatest feelings about being at a con, especially for somebody like me, is whenever like I'm interviewing people at cons, or if I'm taking pictures of people in cosplay to put on my pages, and seeing kids there with their parents and whatnot, and just seeing like how supportive their parents are. Like it's such an amazing feeling.
It's so heartwarming. I love it.
Yeah, it's all, and you know, also too, what I think as well, I feel like, because it's like, you know, I'm showing my age here, but I'm a little bit older. And it's just like my mom, like she wasn't really a nerd, you know, coming up, right? Yeah. So it's like she only knows about nerd stuff because of me and my brother. Whereas nowadays, like, you know, nowadays, like people who are in my age group, like they grew up being nerds. So it's like their kids are gonna, you know, grow up being nerds, and they're gonna go and do these things. And like that's just one of the things that I love about cosplay in general and conventions, is how they just bring so many people together, you know. So the positive does outweigh the negative and the darkness and all that stuff. But
absolutely.
But so the next question I wanted to ask you is, when you're not cosplaying, what is some stuff that you do in your free time? What are some of your hobbies?
Well, I'm really into, like, I've really gotten into like J fashion lately. Just alternative fashion is good fun. I'm a big collector, as you probably have seen.
Hey, you got a nice collection back there.
But I take care of my cat. I work full time in cybersecurity and IT. So, but
nice.
But eventually I do want to go into education, because I really like, back to what you said about the kids, I love how children now are being exposed to so many new different kinds of people and different like the convention scene especially, like, and I really like working with kids. Actually, in my free time I also like to help out at a middle school anime club.
Nice. No, that's awesome.
I do it over Zoom, and the kids like me, I hope. But I basically talk about you know, cosplay, J-pop. I give them like anime recommendations that they might have missed because they're 12, and and I also like to teach Japanese here and there, because I do speak it pretty well. So I like to give them basics and stuff. Nice. So I enjoy studying Japanese as well. Like I took Japanese in high school and college all the way through. So I like to try to upkeep those skills as well in my free time by doing whatever I can. And I love to work with the kids at the middle school. I love to of course I like watching anime. I think everybody who's been on this show does. But you know, I just like to go with the flow and enjoy life as it goes. You know, I'm very my pace kind of person.
Nice. Now, another thing I wanted to ask you, because you had posted this picture, and I'm mad I can't remember what it was, but I would assume that you like to bake, because you made that. What was it? It was a banana. What was it? And I asked you, were you going to get NecoCon, because I wanted some of it. What was it?
Right. I like to bake. Duh.
What was it? What was it that you had made? It was like a chocolate chip banana.
It was, I made some these like chocolate chunk banana like squares, I guess you could say.
There we go.
They were good. They were really good.
It
I need to
looked
make
good.
more. But
It looked good. So okay, so like
yeah,
what are some,
I like to bake as well. I like baking here and there.
so what are some of your things that you love to bake?
I recently made some chocolate chunk blondies for a friend's birthday, and I hope they were good. But
I know that feeling.
I've made a lot of banana muffins in my day because I tend to buy too many bananas and then they go too ripe, and then I go, okay, well, let's bake something out of this. And that's where the banana squares came from, and that's where like I make banana muffins a lot too. I actually made an Oreo cake for my friend's birthday completely from scratch because I wanted to see if I could do it, and I did it. And according to him, it was like the best cake he ever had. So hooray! But yeah, I want to keep trying new things as far as that goes. And my roommate keeps joking, when are you gonna make me a cake? I'm like, your birthday's coming up. Like, be patient.
Hey, well, look, I'm putting it out there now. My birthday's January 26th, and I love Oreo cake. You can mail it to me. I'll send you the shipping, because it's like when I saw that cake, I was just like, yo, that looks good as hell.
Well, thank you. I'll have to send you a picture of the cake I made. But my birthday's January 1st, though, so we're January babies. Yes, fellow January.
What was I about to say? It's like, are you one of those type of people whenever you make something, it's just like you just sit there and be like, so how does it taste?
Yeah.
Like just asking everybody. Like,
oh my god, yeah. No, like for my friend's birthday the other weekend, I baked some chocolate chunk blondies, and I made them about a day before the actual party, just so they weren't like as fresh as you possibly could be, but I tried my best because I didn't have time to make them the next day. So I remember I took them out of the fridge, heated them up a little bit just to soften them, and then I put them in the Tupperware and I brought them over, and then people were eating them, and I was like, oh god, hope they're okay. I was like, that's gonna be embarrassing if they're not.
Yes. Oh my god, like it's definitely a scary feeling, man. I just went to a get together last weekend, and it's like whenever I make something, because I do intermediate fasting, so it's like sometimes it's like I'm fasting and I can't taste anything, and like I really want to wait until like the party starts so that way I can finally eat. So I'm just sitting there like, man, like I hope that everything tastes good. And then like when I see everybody like just chowing down everything, I'm like, oh, so how was that? Oh, did you like that? Or like if somebody had like, if they make a plate of food, I'm like, well, have you tried this yet? Because I just want to know. And like everybody's just like, yeah, it's really good. And I'm just like, thank God. And it's like I'm my biggest critic when it comes to food, and like thankfully like all of the food that I've ever made, nobody has ever said, oh, it needed this or it needed that, or like that's a blessing, what I'm saying? 'Cause it's like I love to cook, so it's always awesome whenever people give you the thumbs up. Now
I cook a bit too, but not too much. But
now to kind of move into like the theme of this month, the spooky month, because we are in the month of October, and everybody loves Halloween. Everybody loves October just because of all of the fall vibes. So I want to ask you, like, what do you do during the spooky month? Like, what are some of your activities that you like to get into? Like, do you like watching horror movies, going to haunted houses, hay rides, pumpkin patches? What do you like to do?
Well, last Halloween, because we were in the midst of the pandemic still, I went on a bit of a horror anime binge, and I watched a bunch of horror anime that I hadn't seen yet, and that was good fun. I might do that again. But actually, I haven't done a whole lot as far as Halloween goes, because usually when it comes up, I've been like super busy, be it like because I just graduated from college in 2020, so like I was busy with that, and then I haven't had a lot of time with COVID to do much. But I'm hoping that I can do something this year, because I actually feel like I have time to enjoy it now. So I remember when I was a little kid, as all young children do in America, we run around and do like the trick or treats and stuff, and we can't really do that now because age. But I'm probably just gonna, on Halloween, I might just hand out candy to kids that come to my unit, or like I don't know. Nikki's birthday is around that time, so I feel like we're gonna do something around that time too. I think my roommate wants to do something. I might like some sort of like Halloween-y, costumey thing. So, and as a cosplayer, like that's kind of comes with it. So I feel like I might just grab my my toga cosplay and my fake blood and just go have fun. I don't know, but
hey, you can't go wrong with cosplaying as Toga, because Toga is crazy and she loves everybody, but she loves everybody in a crazy way. So,
yeah, a little too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I don't really do a lot of My Hero stuff, but I did do Ochako and Jiro and Toga, and I think that scratched my itch on what to do for them for that series. But yeah, so like I don't usually do like extremely mainstream stuff, not because I don't like the mainstream stuff, but just because like that just it doesn't really fall into what I prefer to do usually.
Yeah.
But I really liked doing Toga for the short time that I did. Never wore her to a con, but I probably will bring her back for around Halloween or something. I don't know.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I mean, like, and also too, something that I see that some cosplayers do, like they'll do like 31 days of Halloween, of cosplay ween, where it's just like they'll either, you know, wear a cosplay that they've done before, or they'll debut something new, or like they'll create something from scratch. And you know, I always think that that's fun as well, because it just shows like how you know, talented somebody is with, you know, the amount of time that they have within the month of October to, you know, put out something new every single day, you know.
Yeah, no, like that's incredible, and I can tell you what, that takes a lot of energy.
Yes.
As a cosplayer, like with just being in a costume, like head to toe, usually like your head is constricted and you're uncomfortable because you're walking in like not very practical costume or shoes. And you're doing this for like the entire day or like the entire weekends at a time, and it takes a lot of energy out of you. And I found that out as I've gotten older. Is when I was like 16, I used to be able to run around a con all day in a cosplay and then go to the con rave until like 2 a.m. when I was like 16. And now I get tired at 4 o'clock on a Friday, and I'm just like, where did it go?
Yes, I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm amazed by the cosplayers who do like the 31 days of like cosplay ween, because the amount of effort that gets put into that, you know, having to upkeep it, you know, every day. But then again, I feel like a lot of them probably also do a bulk of them in one day, and then, you know, then just, you know, post it like periodically. So big kudos to them for being able to upkeep with that, you know, with the
keeping up with it and doing it for the 31 day. I mean, and like you said, I'm pretty sure that some of them, they do just say, hey, I'm just going to take a day and I'm just going to put on a bunch of costumes and take pictures, because I mean, it's simpler. I mean, it is time consuming, but it's simpler to just go ahead and knock them all out. But at the same time, you do have some people that are like, hey, I'm just going to put on this cosplay today and I'm going to take the picture and put it out there. Now, I want to ask you this question. This is a question that Dee always asks our guests on the podcast. Is there a favorite horror movie that you have from when you were a kid that traumatized you, that you know, that maybe you still watch to this day, even though it traumatized you? Like for me, Candyman traumatized me, and I'll still go out and watch it and stuff.
I can't say I watched a lot of horror stuff as a kid because my mom wasn't into it. So, you know, but I do remember, like I was kind of raised on a lot of 80s movies. Mm-hmm. And that scene from Pee Wee Herman with like the lady in the truck. Yeah, I remember that pretty well, but I remember that kind of sticking in my brain as a kid, but it does not, I wouldn't say really traumatized me, but as a child, I don't think I've watched a lot of horror movies, but one thing that I do remember is when I was in high school, I was the president of the Japanese club, and and also think this might have been a different group. This might have been the Japanese Honor Society, which I was secretary of. But we, for Halloween, we decided to watch like a Japanese horror film, and we were having a good time. It was like the Japanese version of Paranormal Activity that we were watching, and we all just thought it was good. We thought we were having a good time. But then my Japanese teacher was the most spooked out of all of us, and I remember at one point she like screamed and hid under the desk. I was like, Sensei, are you okay? I do remember that. But I do want to get more into like I do want to explore more of the horror genre because I just haven't seen a lot of it. But
There's a lot out there.
My own.
Yeah, it's a lot out there, especially like with anime. I mean, like you said, like you watch horror anime.
I really like horror and psychological thriller anime quite a bit. So
yeah.
It's like two sides of the spectrum. I like the cute, fluffy stuff, and then I also like the psychologically scarring stuff.
People getting sliced and heads torn off and all this stuff. Well, now let me ask you this: like, is there a horror movie like that you watched recently that that scared you, and you just like,
I honestly haven't watched a lot of horror movies, period. But I will say I remember last year when I was doing the horror anime binge, I know this is probably hard to believe because it's so old, but like I hadn't seen Elfen Lied at all until
I still haven't seen that.
Oh boy. Well, I hadn't seen it at all until I hadn't seen it at all until last year, and I remember just watching it all in one go one night late at night and just like I thought it was so good though, but a lot of it was very jarring. And there are some scenes that still stick in my brain, and at times like this I think about my friend in middle school who was obsessed with that show and like made it her whole personality, and I'm just like, that had to have done something to you at some point. Like, are you okay? And like
this is how was this your favorite show in middle school?
When you were like 11, like, are you okay? Like, I mean,
man, that's funny.
But yeah,
that's funny.
Very good, but it's something. It's really something. But I enjoyed it because I do enjoy I enjoy it when media makes me feel things.
Mm-hmm.
So be it like joy or like just wrap my brain a little bit. I enjoy that. I think I love it when media makes me feel all sorts of emotions.
That's a good thing.
It's powerful. It's just it's powerful. I love it.
That means that whatever you're watching is really good, and that the writers and the directors and all that stuff, they did an awesome and amazing job to make you feel that way. Because sometimes you can watch stuff and you just like I don't even care about it. It was some movie I was watching, Cosmic Sin. It was a horror movie horror sci-fi movie on Netflix. And the entire time I'm watching the movie, I'm just on my phone the entire time. So I feel like if you're on your phone the entire time and you're not even paying attention to what's going on in the movie, then it doesn't do anything for you. But the only reason why I watched it was because, of course, we had to review it for the channel and whatnot. But with that being said, I just want to say thank you, Dream, for joining me on another brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer, the Spooky Editions. You're welcome. And before I let you go, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
Okay, well, my Instagram is Endless Dream Cosplay, and also my TikTok I think is Endless Dream Cosplay as well. It might be Endless Dream Cos, but I have to check. And that's where you find me. And I really appreciate you having me, and I enjoy what you're doing, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and I enjoyed it a lot. Thank you.
Hey, that's what I love hearing, and that's something that we always enjoy hearing on the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks podcast. Is because when we have guests that come on, if they enjoy themselves and they had a fun time, then that means that we are doing a good job. So you already know where you can find me, your hero Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again for watching another brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer. Make sure you check out more of the interviews with other cosplayers here on the channel. Check out some of our interviews, reviews, and reaction videos that we have. Podcast new episodes every Tuesday with the video of that episode on YouTube that Friday. Like I always say, keep that pinky up, stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thank you.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.